So it's 9 p.m. and I've mentioned this a couple times already, I think during stream, and I just would think it'd be a good idea to talk about it now, and just because I think it's something that's just been happening to me more so often. And these past couple of weeks, thinking a lot about, I guess, my anxiety and where it stems from. And I guess at the end of the day, I think my anxiety kind of revolves around like my productivity is like a reflection of how productive I feel during the day. And that's one of them. And I think that's just because, so I think, okay, I need to stop saying I think because it's becoming a problem. So let's start that. And I'm going to try my hardest while I'm talking. I'm going to try my hardest while I'm talking to not say I think because because I almost said it. And I think, so these past couple of weeks, I've just been thinking about my anxiety and overall where it kind of stems from. And I've realized that it's just this fear of becoming unproductive. And I don't really know where the being afraid of being unproductive stems from, but I think it's a deeper rooted issue of the idea of I'm scared to miss out or do something in a day that later on I'm going to regret in my life. The biggest fear that I have in life being on my deathbed and realizing I've regretted things in a way where what I've like basically regretted my life because I didn't take a risk. And that's something I've just kind of lived my life the entire time. And one of the first risks I decided to take was just being an artist. That was one of the first risks. Um, I think I talked about art school. I'm not sure because I've mentioned it a couple of times. But being in arts took me such a long time to get to art school because I was kind of so hesitant to really figure out what I wanted to do. And at the end of the day, just wanted to do art. And I felt these ongoing pressures from my family and just societal pressures of choosing to, um, take art as a course and take study art in college instead of something as before back in the day when I wanted to be a vet. And that was kind of more of I wouldn't say a safe bet that I was going to be successful, but definitely a bet that it was going to bring more, I guess you could say, like money. I think it's interesting the idea of success is all depending on what kind of, not what kind of person, but more as it's all in perspective. And it really changed my life once when I was listening to an artist talk, and it sucks to say because I don't remember who the artist was. And he he mentioned once that as an artist, you when you study, or depending if you're not in school, it doesn't matter, if you're an artist, if you take school or not school. um but I think you try to figure out what kind of, I guess, in my perspective, what kind of artist. But at the end, I think at the end of the day, it kind of revolves of what kind of life I want to lead. And one of the biggest things that I think like changed the way I see things was like, well, if I wanted to be a painter, when he first started painting or creating this art, I wish I could say who it was, but I don't remember. And I like chicken memory. But when he first started creating his work, it was extremely, like, I guess he hit it off really well. It was extremely successful. I think people were buying a lot from him. He was making money, he was living comfortably, and he was one of the lucky ones, of the few, one of the few lucky ones to be able to like make art and live off of that, which I want to say it's every artist's dream. And then he started kind of feeling unhappy, or he started creating this work that he realized that was selling more often. So I guess in a sense it was more commercialized, but for him it didn't make him so happy about making it. He just felt like there was no sense of personal drive when he was creating it. And I think what happened was is he was kind of making art for other people than for himself. And you know, that's fine. I think it wasn't exactly like commission based stuff. I think that's a little different. It was more like his stuff was considered to be, I guess, abstracted still, or like sculptural, but there was still like a he was selling to be able to live off of it, so he didn't have time to really sit down and work out his creativity. And then eventually he just didn't feel successful. It just he kept doing the things that were providing him, like, you know, I guess you could say sustenance and to live, and he just didn't feel successful. Something was wrong. And I think what happened was is, you know, he decreased the amount that he was making that would sell like that. And then he started kind of increasing the stuff that was you know, I guess you could say that like hit the bone, and he felt good about creating. And obviously there's a certain balance you need from creating work and then obviously making money, because you need money to survive. It all just comes down to that. And he ended up taking a teaching job, and he said that even though, like, yeah, he likes teaching, but I guess at the end he just feels more successful because he feels much happier making the things that he likes. Like, he likes taking his time and making things without feeling the pressure of thinking, I don't drive my success if it doesn't sell. Because at one point when he was selling those paintings or those sculptures, if it didn't sell, he didn't feel like the painting was the work of, let's just call it the work of art, that the work of art was successful. He didn't feel like it was successful. So he was just saying, am I driving my success based off of, so the way I took it was, like, for example, I was thinking he was driving his success based off if it was selling or not selling. And at the end, he ended up choosing a path of it's successful based off of how I'm feeling when I'm making it, and that's when I find it successful. That being said, I think it's great when you can sell art and you're like the lucky few that can make art, even the art that you really want to make, and it sells, and I think that's amazing. And that's obviously something that I would want to do. I guess I just want, it sounds so corny. I just want to make stuff that makes me happy. I want to do things that make me happy. And at the point of my time right now, it's not, you know, I'm not reaping any rewards from it, and it still feels so satisfied in what I'm making. So even though I'm creating things that doesn't really reap a, I guess, a reward when people see it that way, I still feel like mentally it's helping a lot. And I think that's definitely a reward. Like the old job that I had, I just wasn't feeling happy anymore. I decreased the time in working there slowly, kind of pushing it away, which was fine, but I just wasn't happy just because of the fear of missing out on the goals that I want. And I think at the end, I just want, like I said, I just want to be happy. And the anxiety that these past couple of weeks has brought me has sucked so bad. And I think that's just because of, I think it's just because of the fact, like, I just realized, like, my anxiety has been brought upon from how much I feel like how productive I am during the day. And if I'm not productive at the middle of the night, I will wake up and it'll just, I feel like it's eating me alive. I think analyzing what my anxiety is coming from is important. And I think, like, all of us, including myself, obviously, I'm trying to do it now, but I think sometimes we just need to sit down and see what drives us. And I think maybe for me, the drive of, I don't like calling it the fear of missing out because it's bigger than that. I think the fear of missing out is something small, like everybody's going to an event, so you think you're scared. I don't think it's that. I think it's more of the fear of dying and not being able to do what you want to do. And I don't, we don't know what's going to happen after we die. We really don't. I don't. I don't know what's going to happen after we die. And I don't want to, like I say, be in my deathbed and lay there and being like, damn, I really should have tried that out, huh? I wonder what would have happened. That's the last thing on my mind that I want to do. I want to be able to like lay there comfortably being saying, hey, you know what? I took the risk. I did it. And I'm pretty much satisfied. That's my rambling about anxiety. That's probably why I'm anxious 24/7 all the time because I feel like as time goes by, I'm missing everything. And like I said, it comes with its perks. It helps me work on stuff that I'm scared of doing, but it also makes me feel like every second of my life is running out. So, isn't that great? Anxiety is my partner in crime, and I'm definitely the crime I'm committing is just making myself anxious every second of the day. For people who have anxiety too, there's different reasons why people have anxiety, and it's such a circular thing for me. I won't say like what helps me get better or what doesn't help me because I think everybody has to realize what helps. Um, One, obviously, going to see a professional is the first step, but I guess I just need to be constantly working on something. It's just, it's the crazy, like I said, it's like the bottled up feeling where you're kind of like a like big bottle and you're just like throwing like, let's just say it's you're you're throwing in like air in there, right? You're throwing a big fart, right? In the bottle. Let's lighten the mood up. And you keep filling up the bottle with with this fart. And it gets like more pressure builds up in the inside and like it just keeps building up. And essentially if all this like I guess you could say like my mind is like running so fast sometimes or like going so fast that like it's causing this anxiety, and if I don't let it out by either like making something, it just feels like it explodes. It sounds like a good thing, but it's not, because even when I'm like creating things or working on things, it's still driving me insane. Screw it. If this is what makes me work, this is what makes me work, but I'm kind of trying not to see it as such a bad thing. I'm trying to like see it as a good thing to like I guess like help myself push further. And I guess that's it. Small little rambling. Let me know what you guys think. Um I'll be posting a video next week, Sunday, and maybe we'll have something else to talk about except moody things. I'm trying to keep this reflective like always so you guys can get to know a little bit about me, but at the same time I want to keep it light and cool. Hit me up on Twitter, Instagram. I have Twitch. What else do I have? I don't know. Do whatever you guys want. I don't like doing this YouTube thing where you have to constantly throw out your shit. It'll be in the description. See you guys. Good night.